San Francisco 49ers Brock Purdy has been playing exceptionally well, yet there are still some people out there trying to find ways to discredit his game and discredit the way he's winning. You had George Kittle join Deebo Samuel on his podcast on Bleacher Report, and he just absolutely cooked any Brock Purdy doubter, and it's absolutely hilarious. Take a listen right here as George Kittle clearly is the voice of reason.
What do you have to say? Because we've already asked, we asked Ayuk this on the first episode, but what do you have to say about people that maybe still aren't bought into your quarterback and Brock Purdy?
Brocky? Well, I think we've gotten to the point where a majority of like the talking heads or the majority of the actual like analysts who watch football and have played football and understand football, I think they're all on the board of like, yeah, he's a pretty damn good quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you have the people out there who are still hating on him for no reason. I mean, like you look at, it's crazy too, because like I think Brock is he's a victim of the moving of the goalposts. Like, all the time. Like they're like, oh, well, he doesn't do this, or this. And then when he does all that stuff, it's like, oh, well, it's because of Deebo, George, and Ayuk. Well, then he does it. Hey, he like led the league in like his yards downfield, all this stuff. And me, Deebo, didn't even play in the game. It's like, well, what do you complain about now? Oh, he's a check down merchant. I'm pretty sure he's leading the league in air yards. So it's just like,
that boy dog.
Like what else do you want him to do?
They gonna find something at all times.
And also like, yeah, I mean like, hey, has he had a bad game? Sure. Quarterbacks have bad games. Like, love Josh Allen. Like he's had a game where he's had 3 picks before. Like you don't just gonna like roast the guy for that because most of the time he plays at a super high level. So it's just like, all right, sure he had like I think Brock's had one okay game this year, but besides that he's played elite. So it's like,
not for sure.
Full transparency, I was one of those people. I fully doubted him last season.
I'm out. See ya.
No, stop. I swear. No, but last season, it was early. I kind of felt like, okay, things are looking good, but this is a healthy team. There's a lot of weapons. Like I was giving
season,
more.
What about the season before that when he came in with like
as a rookie
snaps, like of anything? And
I think
won like
what I
straight.
expected last season, what my
crazy.
take was, which was fully wrong, and I'm live right now admitting that. Was that I thought I would see regression from him. Like I thought like, he had that really great season and I was like, I don't know if this is going to last. And I mean, he silenced me. He shut me up because every time I watch him play.
Brock.
Yeah,
Brock.
Great
truly,
job, Brock.
You really can't argue with what he does out there. But I have to be honest, I was totally one of those like, I don't know if I'm bought into it just yet.
Are you all the way bought now?
How can you not be?
All right, say less. We good.
I mean,
That's
genuinely.
fine. Yeah,
I've actually
we were about to show you out.
No. I have genuinely taken to my public social media platforms and like apologized to Brock
round of
Purdy
applause for
because listen, I had to tuck my tail and admit defeat on that one.
This is exactly it with Brock Purdy. Obviously, we've been chronicling a lot of the opinions about Brock and the doubters, and we've been able to decipher, right? We've been able to discern. And it's one of the things that we've said really early on, that if you are someone who is heavily criticizing Brock or doubting Brock, or anytime he has a slip up or a bad game, you jump all over him and this is why he's not a good quarterback. We simply say this is why you don't know ball and or you just don't watch Brock play, because to be able to have those types of opinions means that you don't understand how to contextualize football. And so when you hear George talk about this and you hear George discuss the moving of the goalposts and how it's like, it's always something. It's either Kyle Shanahan or it's the weapons. And when there's no weapons, it's back to Kyle Shanahan. But when Kyle isn't maybe dialing it up the best, well, it's the other team. They're playing the Patriots, right? It's always the moving of the goalpost with Brock Purdy. And again, that's how you know people aren't objectively evaluating football, because to objectively evaluate football, you evaluate what's in front of you. You evaluate the play in front of you. If you start making up excuses about all these reasons why someone's playing well without actually having any fundamental backing or knowledge to be able to really solidify these points, whether on film, through statistics, or both, then you're just talking out of your mouth. And that's what we get with, and we understand that a lot of people have figured out that they can generate a lot of views and a lot of clicks. So George Kittle does a phenomenal job of just continuing to call those people out, wreck them. And it is what it is, man. Like, you're either on the right side of this or you're on the wrong side of this. And there's going to be people who've been on the wrong side who obviously have no other choice but to give praise and give credit to Brock when it is convenient. But again, it's when maybe Brock has a slip up or Brock has a bad game is when people really show you who they are. And that's what it is. Like, you have to be able to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. This is football. This isn't about being perfect. It's about overcoming adversity. It's about overcoming your imperfections. It's about overcoming mistakes. And with anything that we've seen from Brock is he's either rebounded or he's overcome the issues that he has ran into, whether with, ball placement, whether with, throwing, in regards to how much zip and speed he's able to put on his ball. He's been able to change a lot of different things, and his game has evolved as a result of that. And now you're seeing him put up not only insane numbers, but the tape speaks for itself. And yet you'll still have people somehow try to discredit it and speak against it. So at this point, we get it. We understand. There's a common theme here. The guys who actually know ball have been on the right side of Brock. The guys who don't know ball have been on the wrong side of Brock. And if there's anyone that's waffling in the middle, it's because they have to save face. They have to be able to be objective, even though reality shows that the second Brock has a miscue or a mistake, then we understand where you currently lie on the matter. So that makes the objective evaluation a false evaluation. It makes the evaluation like you're blowing in the wind. So with that being the case, I think that George did a phenomenal job of eloquently just dismantling all of those types of people, all these Nick Wrights and all these guys in the media who continue to take a shot at Brock at any slip up, any sign of miscue or mistake. It's again another reason why the 49ers don't have a franchise quarterback. But again, it's a misevaluation of football. It's the inability to contextualize football and then evaluate through that lens. That's why football is, in its essence, a challenging sport to evaluate. That's why you have everyone who has access to film. Everyone has access to these games, yet there's still only a handful of people that are considered experts, because there's a lot of nuance, there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of circumstance, there's a lot of context that goes into why a play is successful or why a play is not successful, and not everyone can see those things. And so it's very important. That's why one of our missions has been to discern who knows ball and who doesn't know ball. And I think we've done a really good job of that on this channel. And I think we've done a really good job not only educating you guys, but educating myself and continuing to be on the right side in the sense of understanding the football, understanding what happens on the field, understanding why plays are successful, why they're being successful in these games, and why Brock is having success or why he's not. We've talked about those as well. Again, I think you even heard, George Kittle talk about it. Not every game's going to be good. We talked about Brock Purdy's game against Minnesota being one of the worst games of his career that I've ever watched. That was one of the most uncharacteristic Brock Purdy games I had ever seen, and happened this year against the Minnesota Vikings. But guess what? When you contextualize and understand how to evaluate football, you then would be able to understand and wrap your head around it's how you respond. It's how you come back and play the next game. And he played phenomenally, and he continues to play phenomenally. Even in the game where he struggled against the Cardinals, he still played well. Was it his best game ever? No, but it wasn't the worst game ever, like some people made it seem. And so, again, being able to contextualize football is a skill, and it's a challenge. Not everyone's good at it. Everyone can throw up film and be like, look at that, but they don't know how to contextualize it. They don't know how to properly quantify it. And so that's part of the evaluation process, and being able to project out, being able to long view, analyze football, not analyze football in a vacuum. That's how you get things wrong. That's how you look like a doofus at the end of the day when you try to evaluate within a vacuum. And so I love it. I love what Kittle had to say. I feel like we've been saying it on this channel for like 2.5 years. So again, we're going to continue to evaluate how we see it. If Brock has a poor game, we're going to say he has a poor game. If Brock Purdy has a phenomenal game, we're going to say if he has a phenomenal game. If we're going to say he has an okay game, we're going to say that. We've had all three. We've had all three in this season, and that's exactly how we will continue to operate. And hey, you're either on the right side or you're the wrong side. You choose where you want to be. Let me know what you guys think about this video and what Kittle had to say in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.